all the ATGATT motorcycle gear, PPE, personal protective equipment, whatever you want to call it, I just loaded in this truck is not going to save your life. All right, I know the ATGATT zealots are winding up the keyboards, ready to fire away, but give me a chance. Wait till the end of the video. And first and foremost, I encourage, I don't demand or require anybody to wear gear. It's your personal choice, but I encourage you to wear the gear that's required, the gear that's proper, and the best gear that you can afford. So let's go top down. And this is probably the most controversial, but let's take this open face helmet. All my helmets are DOT. Don't argue with me about it. That's my choice. This will give you the least amount of protection, but because I'm lazy, I keep this one close to the garage. It's small, I can get to it. And if I want to go on a test ride or just ride around the block, at least I have something. I may be a little bit uglier than I am now, but at least I have something on my noggin. So helmets in general, the most protection that you're going to get is one with a full face and a shield. Like I said before, this affords, and not even arguably, just matter of coverage, this one's going to give you less coverage than this one is. And even the half helmets and 3/4 helmets and all that stuff are going to give you even less. Don't buy your helmets at the motorcycle rally. But even with a motorcycle helmet, you could buy the best Schnell rated, ECE rated, whatever, and yell at me for using a DOT helmet, but it is not going to save your life. I would say arguably in any condition, but the stats do not bear that in mind, bear that in fact. The helmet itself is not going to save you. The impact that you take, you could have the best helmet there is, the best structurally sound with the best padding in there, and you could even have the MIPS system, which I think is an excellent idea. However, and that's my opinion, when your noggin hits the ground, that impact, your brain is going to slosh back and forth, and it's dependent on that as to how much brain injury you have. These will reduce it, they are not going to stop it. There's a wide range of foot protection. Now these two, this is probably the most protective boot. However, this is meant for low speed operation. This is a adventure boot, and I wear it on both bikes because of several things. They give me the most protection for what I'm looking for. Toe box, ankle support, but these have downfalls too. These are locking your foot into a particular position, and these are, especially these, are known for spiral injuries or spiral fractures. In addition, they are so locked into your foot, you have the chance of losing your foot. It could pull your foot off in certain conditions. It could deglove you. It could take your skin right off of you. That has occurred. So these are things that you have to take into account. But none of this stuff, none of it, not the jackets, not the pants, not the boots, not the helmet, are going to save you from mechanical injury. You know, when you hit the ground, these things are only there to reduce the amount of injury in case you do survive. These are riding jeans, Kevlar lined. They have knee armor in them, and they will give you a decent amount of support. Probably the next level of protection would be probably leather, but they are not. Even leather is only there to reduce the abrasion, or increase the abrasion resistance of your skin. Your skin sliding down the road will disappear in a nanosecond. But as I stated before, these are made, and most of these pants are made the same way, with a Kevlar lining in them. And if you notice, the Kevlar lining is not throughout. They build these for comfort. They build these for cool. If they had complete Kevlar lining, no one would wear them because they would be stiff and bulky and hot. They are hot just and bulky just in the state that they're in right now, but they cover the areas where your skin grafts come from. That's the rear end, okay? Your knees, where you're probably most likely to slide, they don't have, and most of them don't have any thigh coverage, because you need to be able to articulate your thighs and your knees and stuff like that in riding a motorcycle. But these here are just to make sure that some of you is left if you survive your accident. I've got 3 leather garments in here. This one here is from the 1950s, so there's no armor in it. I don't wear this anymore. It's more nostalgic than anything else. But leather gives you probably the highest level of abrasion resistance when you hit the ground. However, you still, if you hit the ground, you're going to break your arm. Same thing with gloves. The gloves with all the gewgaws and gadgets they have on them, the bumpers and the slide pads and stuff like that. If you hit the ground, that is for slide abrasion resistance. It's not going to keep your hand from breaking. It's not going to keep your wrist from breaking. I've seen claims that say that this glove is going to keep you from breaking your wrist. That's not the case. When you hit the ground, you're going to have mechanical injuries. Some mechanical injuries will probably kill you. This is probably one of the more expensive, well, it's probably the most expensive, or one of the 2, 3, 4 most expensive brands. It's Climb. And this is one of, well, it used to be one of their most expensive jackets. It is, was it Cordura? And there's no Kevlar in there, but it's got abrasion resistance. It does have D3O armor. So if you don't know, D3O armor is probably, I think now, second most technologically advanced body armor for riding a motorcycle. It's pliable, and then when it hits, it solids up. So it turns into a solid surface. So when you hit the ground, it's going to reduce the amount of soft tissue damage. It's not going to keep you from breaking your elbow, because if you hit a hard surface, whether it's this or the ground, your elbow is going to break. What it does is give that initial impact, and like I said, if you don't break your arm or you survive the impact, your elbow doesn't have all the bruising and stuff like that that retards healing. The other thing that these are good for, and probably not even the intent of them, is you have more abrasion resistance. So it's got to go through the jacket and this, but if it goes through the jacket, this thing's going to go bye-bye anyway. As a side note, I just want to say that you need to wear the right gear for the right riding environment. You don't want to take low impact stuff that's off-road riding. I see a lot of guys taking the, just to pull a name out of the air, Fox Titan riding jackets from off-road enduro motocross and using them on the street on an ADV bike or even on a sport bike. Those are meant for low impact, a different kind of crash than you do on the street. If you're riding on the street, you need to wear street gear. There are some stuff like these boots that are interchangeable, but still in the same token, these are made for low impact crashes. They will do well, but they are going to overprotect you and possibly hurt you in a street crash versus a motocross crash or an enduro crash or a dual sport crash. These are a little bit more toned down, so you're and you would look probably goofy riding a cruiser or a sport bike with those, plus it would be uncomfortable. But these have more give to them, so you wouldn't want to ride these in a motocross environment. We're not really talking about that. We're kind of focusing on street, and these are probably a really good choice for the street, but you know, it's up to you. But you got to wear the right gear for the right riding environment. Now you can argue, and like I said, that's not part of this discussion. You can argue like a couple of religious zealots of which brand of their particular religion is better than the other, and people argue about Snell over CE and then which CE rating there is and over DOT. None of that matters. All of this stuff is meant to preserve anything that's there if you survive the accident, and that's no qualms about that. That is exactly what this stuff is for. Again, I'd like to encourage everyone to wear the gear of their choice, as much gear as they deem necessary, and the best gear that they can afford. Now, my specific point about this is what is going to save your life. What is going to save your life is in your brain, training yourself, understanding, having knowledge of how to ride your motorcycle, how to avoid crashes, how to ride safely and predict accidents and be prepared for accidents. So as far as what I just said about ratings and things like that, I'm going to direct you to a couple of videos. I think there's 2 videos. I'll link those in the end. One is from BretTkacs and the other one I believe is from Fort9. And they go through stats and numbers and charts and things that I don't care to do. And they explain it very well. I encourage you, before you, keyboard tap away, to go visit those 2 videos. So finally, my point, after how many ever minutes this video is what's not going to save you is anything that you put on your motorcycles, anything you wear on your body are not going to save you. It's your brain, what you know, what you've practiced, and what is going to help you predict, prevent, and survive an accident. There are 2 channels I'd like to recommend for that. One I previously mentioned, BretTkacs. He does a great job with ADV. He does some general stuff, but he does a great job of explaining how to ride an ADV motorcycle intelligently. And I don't agree with everyone 100% of the time, but he does a really great job of telling you how to ride an ADV motorcycle. In the general scheme of things of all motorcycles you can ride on the street, MC Rider has the best, most thought out, most intelligent channel as far as that goes. He breaks stuff down really simply for beginner riders and for expert riders. If you're an expert rider, I encourage you to go, and if you're an ADV rider, I encourage you to go to one or the other channel, both of those channels, check them out, and just learn. Sometimes there's things that don't occur to you, some nuances that may help you, maybe help save your life or keep you out of an accident or help you to ride better. Either way, I think you should visit both of those, BretTkacs and MC Rider. I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. Adios.